Good morning, good afternoon, good evening everybody. Thanks a lot for joining us. We're here and we are live. We're getting set for what is going to be a massive midweek here on Sorare. We've got massive games going on all the way through, today being Hogmanay, New Year's Eve, all the way through into the new year of 2025. We've got a full slate of Scottish football to look at. We've got a lot of football going on in England, particularly in the Championship, a wee bit of Premier League, as well as some other bits and pieces going around. We'll be looking at all the predicted 11s, as well as, just generally how the game week is going to be running out. But later on tonight, for any of you that are watching this after we've been live, we will be going live and we're going to have an extravaganza for Hogmanay live at 7 o'clock tonight here on the channel. I'll be picking up another 10 boxes, 2 cards, which is fantastic, and a nice little chunk of change, which we'll have a wee look at in a second, I suppose. But that 10 boxes goes on top of the 19 we already have sitting there, chilling, waiting for us. Maybe we'll get involved in some rivals action later today as well, if there is any between now and then. I don't think so. But anyway, we're going to open all those boxes. We're going to be crafting. We're going to be opening all the good stuff, guys. It should be a party to get Hogmanay kicked off, and I look forward to seeing every one of you there. But fist bump on arrival to everyone that is joining us live and loud. All the Sorare scouts and managers all over the world love tuning into the Deadline Show to get the latest intel on any of the players that are coming and going. We're getting press conferences coming out everywhere at the moment for the midweek game, so if you are tuning in and you catch any of the news on the timeline as it is, drop it into the live chat and let it be known. And yeah, of course, hit the like button. Let us know if you won anything this weekend. Are you having a bit of a Hogmanay New Year's Eve reward extravaganza for yourself? Did you win anything at the weekend? And how are you shaping up for the midweek? Because if you did well at the weekend, there's a good chance you've probably got some teams going out in the midweek as well. As you can see, we're 56 minutes away to the deadline, and we've got a wide array of games across the UK, especially, I say, with the Championship in Scotland. So it's going to be a fun feast of New Year football for all. Leeds United, top of the order here, the most favoured team across the game week here at home at Blackburn Rovers. 69% chance of winning this, really high chance of a clean sheet, good opportunity for 3 goals or more. Just means it could be decisive City, which is great. Arsenal, the only game in the Premier League, is up here in second as well. They're away, to Brentford. And when you look at the matchup indicators here, like generally on average what you would expect for like an Arsenal midfielder, defender or whatever to score in this game, it's quite stack friendly. I think the goalkeeper is just not going to get tested in theory on paper, so maybe not a great one for the full stack if you've got an active goalkeeper somewhere else that could pull in a clean sheet or something. But again, 67% chance of winning, clean sheets fair enough, and 3 goals or more is very, very high on this one. So definitely Arsenal, a big stack team. It'll be fighting in, there's no Premier League competition actually open in this game week. If we look at Discover Comps, the only thing we've got is in-season contender, which is the top 14 to 27 leagues in world football, including the Scottish League, of course. And in the classic mode, we've got All-Star open up as well as warm-up and under 23. So if you are Arsenal stacking, or if you have the Championship cards, there's only really one place to be playing, and that is All-Star in the classic mode here, which is got a fair amount of numbers in it, just under 10,000 limited entries already, just under 2,500 rare entries, and we're getting top 20% are going to be picking up boxes. No cash on the table for this competition, 1 star paid out at the tippy tops. This is going to be fiercely contested, it feels like. Probably all scarcities. It's super rare. We've got 230 entries, that's considerable, especially considering it is multi-entry, but there's only 2 teams available rather than the usual 3, so interesting kind of dynamic here on this side. And the classic figures here for contender aren't really that fearsome, but the prize pools kind of equally reflect that, when there is only like 1 division on out of a possible 13 basically that inhabits this area, then it's going to be like way less than what it normally is, which is just, hey, it is part and parcel with the game itself. After that, but the top rated game in Scotland is actually Aberdeen versus Ross County at home, and you can kind of see why Ross County generally towards the bottom of the table. A nightmare of a goalkeeper problem, by the way, guys. Like I will maybe chat about it when I look at my lineups, when I have to look at all the predicted 11s for these matches, but it's very much a case of buy cheap, buy twice for me and Ross County goalkeepers. So we'll talk about that probably later in the show. Burnley have been an absolute monster SO5 wise this season. They make it into the top 5 in 4th position here. Again, really high chance of winning. The clean sheet is not quite the best. Leeds are like 1% more likely on that. Not as quite high on the 3 goals scored probability here, but when you look at the actual matchup indicators, like they've got more players that get points, like they win their duels, they get interceptions, they play balls into the final third, whatever it is they're up to. The Burnley players, for the back anyway, certainly are doing it, so maybe there's something to be said here. I don't know why the matchup indicator for forwards is so low. Maybe it's just not goals from strikers Blackburn Rovers are conceding or whatever, but our Leeds aren't getting goals from. But there'll be a fun kind of hybrid stack to be had here, like a Burnley defence, maybe a Leeds midfield, and then like an Arsenal forward if they've got. Yeah, Saka probably has a big say on all these indicators, and he's also not available. So yeah, anyway, that's by the by. We've got Millwall at home to Oxford. We've got Bristol away to Plymouth, who have parted company with Wayne Rooney today. West Brom at home to Preston. Hearts, Motherwell, Sheff Wed are at home to Derby. Hibs, St Johnstone's up next at 47% chance for Hibs, who are on a bit of a resurgence right now. But this is quite an even game. We'll see how that shakes out. Middlesbrough, Hull, and basically we're just looking to get to where we find the Glasgow Derby, because this game is right down. It's nowhere near one of the good matchups for Celtic, despite Celtic fans around the world being very high in confidence that this is going to be a very good derby, a very fun one to watch. Only 42% chance the bookies give us to win this game, and with it being away from home, being a bookie, like, it's probably what they have to do, I suppose. But I think Celtic are very, very clear favourites in this one. Clean sheet opportunity isn't as good as it is in many other games, of course, but I think Schmeichel, like, even if he doesn't get a clean sheet, can still get 60, you know what I mean? So no fear there. And 3 goals scored is very misleading. I think we've got a very good chance of scoring 3 goals in this game, if you've seen Jack Buckland over the last week or two. So this should be a fun one. And then there's some more Championship and SPFL that kind of round out the bottom end before then the fixtures flip around. And yeah, you see some of the other teams, their probability of having a good game week, where it lies out. So lots to get through. And there's a bunch of you joining us live and loud. Fist bumps to everyone on arrival. I see Red or Dead. I see Where's the Exit. So somebody called Sorare in the chat. Is it worth buying a Levante lineup? Sorare is asking me. I'm not too sure. We'll check out Levante. Torador, my man, good to see you. It's been a while. Merry Christmas to everyone, by the way. I hope Santa was good to you, and I hope you're going to have fun whatever you're doing for New Year's Eve, Hogmanay, whether you're spending it with me here at 7 o'clock, opening up rewards yourself, or going out with your friends and family, your loved ones and all that good stuff. Fist bump to you all. Many more happy returns, and I hope you have a great one, and you've had a great one up to this point. Club Z, good to see you again, my man. You've been in a few live chats in a row. Love that. DNP Roulette kicking my ASS for Where's the Exit. And Jack, good to see you. Came in first with a Celtic team this weekend. Well done, Jack. Christy Bergen, hey Quinny, go on the hoops. That's it. Moan the hoops this weekend. Packus Murphy, FTJ23, caught a rare live. Love to see it, mate. Thanks for jumping into the chat as well. And Graham, the perennial giveaway winner at the moment. I did see the Odenholm news, but I didn't know it was to LAFC. Does Odenholm get into the LA midfield? That could be wild. Imagine Odenholm became Puig. Just imagine Odenholm became Puig. Wouldn't that? I didn't know it was LA. That is exciting. I've got 2 Odenholms, and I was actually annoyed that I had to. Is it 2 that I've got? We'll do predicted 11s in a second. Sorry guys, I'm just now mildly distracted. And maybe if you had an eagle eye there, maybe the cat is out the bag. But Odenholm, I got one last season. Do I have one for this season? I think I might, because he just might have been mad cheap. Yeah, I think I do, because I don't see him missing. So where is he? Odenholm, there he is. Aye, magic. Yeah, secondary market as well. Didn't really bother, but first owner was just like probably like 50p or something. So nice. I've got 2 Odenholms out of a possible 2 in my collection, so that's fun. But yeah, fist bump to everyone on arrival. Love to see the news coming in, whether it is transfer related. We're all about that. And I think the best place to start is with the SPFL. It's the main region that we've got open on Sorare for in-season and for Classic. And, you know, there's definitely some Ranger stacks in and around the building, don't get me wrong. But Celtic are such a strongly stacked lineup in Sorare, and there's been some great interactions recently, or great content being made on the Twitter timeline of like Celtic's dominance this year. Only 2 games lost in the calendar year of 2024, once to Borussia Dortmund, where it was a significant loss, of course, and once against Hearts, where there's very much contentious refereeing decisions involved in that. So what a year it's been. We just need to bloody predict the team, don't we? McBride Ace is on duty here for Predictorfy, who powers all the lineups that we do here on the Deadline show, as well as the real Deadline show that me and Harry Trades do together. And by the way, if you can all spare a moment, a wee thought and a prayer for Harry and the family and all that good stuff while they are on their festive period. I don't want to say anything else. I'm not sure what Harry said, but yeah, thoughts and prayers with the Collinses for sure. And McBride Ace here on Predictify, who sponsors both the streams for, you know, this one and that one and all the rest of it. We've got the predicted lineup here. Now, I did a video on Celtic here as well, where I kind of went through the whole team, had a breakdown, a preview and an analysis of the game. That went out live earlier today, so if you do want to catch that as well, feel free to check it out. But I ultimately fall on the exact same lineup as McBride here. I do think Valle and Taylor is maybe a bit more 55-45, and the reason I say that is just because like Taylor wasn't great in the cup final, and the manager has given Valle 90 minutes right before this game, and that might have been a bit of a prep up, so maybe I would just alter the percentages on that ever so slightly, but otherwise I think the rest of the team is the lineup we're going to be coming in with, and this is a going out for the win Celtic team. I remember seeing lineups that we've listed going to Ibrox with a number of managers, Brendan Rodgers included, and when you've got a really attack-minded midfield going out, it's about winning the first half, it's about winning the game early, and I think that's going to be the mantra for Celtic. I've listened to the Callum McGregor press conferences came out already. If we get the Brendan Rodgers one before 3 o'clock, I'll put my earphones on and listen to it and kind of talk you through it. But yeah, that without a doubt, I think this is going to be the team that we go with. And really, like when you look at the form that we've had, like even though it's a big game, big players, big scores. That's what we're all about here. And if you can predict the team, I think we're cooking right now. Rangers at home, and by the way, I don't know if this is propaganda or whatever, right? But I have heard reports like this game for Rangers, by the way, is huge. It is mega. Like they came so close in the cup final, it appears on the scoreline, and then when they want to talk and moan and bitch about the penalty thing for what felt like an eternity, right? I don't actually know how long it went on for. And then for them at the weekend to get some really dodgy stuff against our friend here in the Sorare community, the legend that is Tony Watt, a Keep 32 trader. He goes by a number of names. There's definitely like something we can say about him as if he's like an outlaw, on the West or something. He's known by many names, kind of thing. Well, Tony Watt. So yeah. Absolute robbery. Not heard a peep, and when you see all the kind of media coverage and all the rest of it here in Scotland, it's been totally skipped over. It's just blatant at this point, I think this Rangers team on paper does look pretty good. Seeing Leon King 50-50 here with Yilmaz is interesting. That's not something I had. I don't know why Tavernier isn't here. Is he injured or suspended or something? Press conference today. Tavernier has been mentioned a few times for being seen to be holding his hamstring at the end of the Motherwell game. Slight risk to be aware of. Hopefully it'll be clarified later. Tavernier out for a few weeks. Oh my god. Is this breaking news? Tavernier is out for a few weeks. Oh my god. I'm sure he's going to be so disappointed that he's missing this game. Oh, here we go, guys. It is on. It is on like Donkey Kong. This is happening, isn't it? This is going to be like... What I was going to say a moment ago that I stopped myself from is I've heard in some circles that there's Rangers fans with tickets that aren't going, that are choosing not to go. I actually know a few Rangers fans that are just out of town in general. And by the way, if this is not a full house, if we score early and some of them leave and stuff like that, this could be mega. This could be historic in a few different ways, man. This is Jesus. Lock your doors and windows if you live in the area. It's one of those ones that could be crazy. So this is the team, and I see it on paper like that front four. Sorare wise, if I can be somewhat neutral for a moment, that front four has AA in it. There is decisive capability there. There's no getting away from it. The defence at the moment is super leaky, and like if they're playing Leon King or Yilmaz on this side against Daizen Maeda, Jesus. Dujon Sterling's already been filtered in. I think it could be like Sterling playing right back and then Balogun playing centre back. I think that would be maybe more likely. I don't know who's done this for the Rangers fan. They'll know better than me if they are. But just logically on player positions and stuff, that would make sense to me because they seem to fancy Balogun in these games, although he's been... I just don't get how he can ever play for Rangers, and I'm like a Celtic fan, I just don't get how he's ever been there. They've signed him twice. You know what I mean? When he left, he could even get a game for a team in League One. Anyway, the top game we had in SPFL, we'll come back to the derby again, I'm sure, because there'll be more stuff breaking out before the deadline. We've got 45 minutes to go, but Aberdeen are at home. It's not really a derby but this is two teams firmly in the north of Scotland. Aberdeen at home, and if they'd won that game against Dundee United the other day that they lost in the last kick of the game, they would have been second coming into this match day, so they're still on the heels of Rangers. Rangers are not looking to pick up points this game week, if you ask me. So Aberdeen will be looking at this as we win, we go second, and that's going to be mega for them. All season long, it has been hard to pick their striker, but it looks like Clarkson is very much in now, the best 11 again, with McGrath and Kiskinen in support. This team on paper should be up there with Rangers. Like Rangers should be ahead of them in theory when you look at the quality they've got in that front four, but they are just terrible. Like, it's just no getting away from the actual reality. Football's played there, not on paper. And I've been loving to see that Palaversa has been coming into a bit of a game. How's he actually been scoring? I've been hearing people saying good things about him that have been watching Aberdeen and all the rest of it. So I might be talking slightly out of turn, but let's have a look at how he's scoring. This is a guy that I used to own his card when he was like, what team was he even at? It was at Troy, but he was playing with somebody else. He was on loan. I can't remember. I didn't know he went to Getafe, Kortrijk, and he was a wee dynamo. Took a lot of set pieces. I quite like this guy. A product of the City Football Group and all that good stuff. Yeah, maybe it was back here. I maybe heard some of the good stuff about him, but again, kind of coming back into the team. Played against Dundee United. I don't know if he was maybe nursing an injury or something, but good to see he's in the lineup. And yeah, the rest of the defence is fine. They've got their goalkeeper, who's a big factor in their success, back in between the sticks, and they're against Ross County. And guys, I told you, with me and Ross County, it was buy cheap, buy twice. I got 2 Ross Laidlaws because he was the cheapest goalkeeper going. And Ross the boss, Laidlaw, as we know, if Ross County don't concede 3 goals, Laidlaw is a good keeper to have about. But he's picked up an injury playing against Celtic, sadly. And I went and got the backup Jack Hamilton after he'd played a game or two. And as soon as I played him, he's been replaced by this guy, Jordan Amisa, who I'd never heard of. Turns out he's got Sheffield United cards. Turns out Sheffield United signed him from Borussia Dortmund. So when I seen that, I thought, hey, I don't mind getting this guy. I'm now just, I paid like 50 quid, 60 quid, I think, for the 2 Laidlaws. And then Amisa and Hamilton combined has been the same. So that's just a bit of a kick in his teeth. Buy cheap, buy twice. Should have just got a Mitov and waited the injury out. It's probably the moral of that story. But anyway, that's for another one. So if Aberdeen don't score 3, this Amisa guy could get some AA for me, and he's in a prominent lineup. So we'll see how that shakes out. Hearts Motherwell was a pretty big game. If we look at the Hearts team since they're at home, I brought in a James Wilson because he was like dirt cheap and I had a lot of market credit sitting. And he's like a little 17-year-old Scottish forward that's starting for Hearts and showing up. Lawrence Shankland, it maybe appears in recent weeks. So he's looking good for me. Craig Gordon is still number 1. I'm hearing rumours, by the way, that Xander Clark might be signing a pre-contract agreement with Hibs. Would you believe? So check out the timeline on that. And Beningami's in this Spittle, Penrice, Drama, who again has looked good in the big matches, so it could be a game for him. And Lennon Miller, don't know what the script is, but he's not 100% this game week. These guys all limped off against them, so unlikely to feature. So that's a tough one to read and see. Maybe they come in off the bench, so I'm still like keeping Miller in a team somewhere, but he's very low priority. And it's sad to see that he's lost his 100% run, but I love the fact that whoever's done this is at least done 10%. So he's just deleted a 0, and then when he's back, he'll just need to go in and just add a 0. So I love that. Kilmarnock St Mirren, by the way, is a game not to be overlooked either in terms of just the landscape of Scottish football at the moment. Both teams that should be in the top 6, both teams that are well built, good management behind them, and a lot of nice players to kind of like in this league in general. As I look at the Kilmarnock team, but I don't see the wide players I was expecting to see. Kennedy's at 15%, and what's the other guy's name again? Is it Anderson? Armstrong? He's not factored in here at all, so interesting to see. Robbie McCrory, 90% there in goals. Against Ellery Balcombe, Jakavite, Gogic. Some heroes here in this St Mirren team, some guys that are good in the league, as well as some new talent kind of coming through from shopping around and all the rest of it. And again, I'm a fan of the manager. St Johnstone are at home at Hibs. This is the St Johnstone team going a wee bit more attacking than what they did against Celtic, which, fair enough. Could be a better game for them. They definitely looked like they had some players, St Johnstone. Definitely wouldn't write them off at home, because Hibs, although they're kind of resurgent, they're still resurgent. They're not fantastic, But when they've got the likes of Junior Hoylett and Dwight Gale in their ranks up front, never mind Martin Boyle, who's got a very respectable record in this league, and Ellie Ewan, who's been a good player for them. They're going to have a goal threat, and in this division, that's just a must-have. No goal threat, no points. It's one of those leagues. Then we've got the Dundee Derby, which is always fun, always spicy, this one, and I'm sure that'll be well attended. We've got Dundee at home. Trevor Carson, again, I picked up a Plumman McCracken trying to go on the cheap here, and it looks like Trevor Carson's going to get a few more games out of those knees that he's got. So he's back in goals for like the 3rd game in a row. And the team, like 3-4-3, they'll be going for it. Lyle Cameron can score well. This wee guy, Ryan Astley, that I won as a tier 5, has been on an absolute heater ever since I've had him in the club. So love to see that. And I think this game will suit him well, as well as the other little guy that I got, Ade Boyega. Jack Watling in goals for them, and try to see if anyone else really stands out. Will Ferry been in at left back. I think is a wee bit cheat codey sometimes, isn't he? because he's a guy who takes some set pieces, does attack, and from that left back position, being a midfielder card, like he does score pretty well, doesn't he? 88 is certainly there, and if he gets it decisive, then he's popping. So that's a good player to watch out for. 24-year-old Irish. I might buy him. How much is a ferry? £9. I think I might do that, guys. Bear with me. We are about just under 40 minutes to the deadline. Love a little deadline purchase. Nobody snipe me on this. Go on. Let me have this. I'll put the Dundee United team back up. And I'll drop some fist bumps to you guys, of course, because I see some of you coming in here. So while I'm juggling, boom, boom, boom. Oh, he's a defender card. I thought he was a midfielder, I don't know why. Maybe he was a mid, and then maybe it was one of those ones where the packet changed. With £9 all the same, I don't mind that. Don't know why I thought he was a mid. But there you go. Got him. Thanks very much, guys. No one sniped me on that. And the reason I was asking is because I think I can smash him into one of my bottom lineups, but we'll come back to that at another time. So that's basically the round of Scotland. If I go back to, we've had a Rangers update 15 minutes ago, so just double checking that's not any different to what we've just seen here. Press conference update, yeah, small chance of making it. Who plays it right back is very uncertain, be very cautious. Yeah, awesome. So yeah, we've not missed any updates on that. And by the way, guys, it is party time for the Celtic stacks. Let me go back to the live chat because there's a bunch of you joining us. Jalkin Calvez, Scales best player ever. He is indeed. Scaldini is loving it. I have a Racing Santander stack. Mads, good to see that. What do you think of them? I don't think they're doing that well, are they? It's not a team I've followed this year as a club, but you know they could be in La Liga if they got their act together. Atuesta back to Palmeiras. Jared Bowen has fractured his foot out till at least Feb. Question for you, Quinny. Hearts versus Motherwell. If you had to pick one, Shanks or Tony? Oh, what a great question. Lawrence Shankland, no. Tony's on at start, yeah. I would take Tony if I had to pick one of them. Robbed of a goal, or robbed of being involved in a goal somewhat in the last match, and back on it, you know. I think Tony Watt in this division, by the way, is like a striker can make, you know, Tony loves it. Tony's got a good football brain on him. He loves it. He trains hard, he works hard, he's very focused, and you know, if he gets chances, he tends to take them, you know. It's just about chance creation with the teams he's been at in minutes. And if he's starting, like, he scores goals, especially for Motherwell, you know what I mean? Like, he was top scorer in the league before he got that move to Dundee United halfway through the season. Up front with Van Veen, which wasn't too long ago. Different manager. Is it the guy that's at St Mirren now that was the manager? Stephen Robinson or whatever his name is. So I would take Tony over Shankland. Yeah, easy. Especially away from home. That's a good atmosphere. Tony used to play for Hearts as well. Total revenge game goal. You can see that happening. And Tony has played for a lot of teams in the league, it must be said. but there you go. So yeah, let me catch up with some more of the chat, guys. Tate or Scales is extra. I think Scales. Tate, but if he gets a decisive, could outscore him. I can't find that Tav news anywhere on Twitter, says Jack. Apparently this came from the press conference. Lennon Miller is seeing a surgeon this week. Oh, so he's not even going to get that sub appearance. And I can't see some of these because of the poll. Let me go and check the... I bought a Ferry SR from McBride. Pico player. Nice. Love to see that. And Sterling has moved to right back. Balogun will start if he's even remotely fit. If not, it will be King as CB. Says D1872. Sounds like a guy in the know. Yeah, it's kind of what we'd kind of thought. Yeah, because Sterling is a right back, whereas if you're not going to play Yilmaz there, you're not going to play King out there. Sterling against Maeda's a much better bet for you, isn't it? But all the same, it's not looking good, is it? I'm a wee tiny bit gutted that Ferry's not a midfielder card, but anyway, I digress. We'll come back to this as well because the Celtic press conference, hopefully McBride is out there listening out for any any press conference notifications that come out, and he can update that for us, and we can keep our finger on the pulse with any. I've just seen something from Jay in the chat. Sorry, I wonder what Jay's normally gets finger on the pulse with training pictures and whatnot. Oh yeah, they're just saying that, talking about the Maeda stuff. Interesting. Right, cool. So if we go into Challenger, we've now got the English Championship, and I'm just going to kind of scroll through these as quick as I can. Connor Hazard is 50-50 with Grimshaw to come back in and play this. So I'll be playing mine. Rami Hajal still in the team. Wayne Rooney now gone. So the Plymouth team's a wee bit up in the air, let's say. That's the Bristol City team. QPR are at home to Watford. Any familiar faces in this one? Yeah, Koki Saito, Japanese Messi in to start this one. No Nicholas Madsen or Karamoko Dembele, but some other players like Paul Nardi, Harrison Ashby, some guys with cards. And no Rocco Vata from the start. And by the way, Rocco Vata has been on some great form in the like L7 maybe or something like that, last 7 games. Look at that, 5 L5, there we go, that's what you want. Look at that L5, 2 goals, 3 assists. Eat your heart out, wee man, well done to you. Didn't think you had it in you, if I'm being honest, you know. So fair play to him. But he's not starting this game, must be a tactical decision, maybe it's a fitness thing. Really strong Watford team in any case. No Porteous. Millwall at home to Oxford. This is the Millwall team. Casper De Noor in the engine room. Jaffet Tanganga. Oxford United team. Burnley, one of the top teams this game week, at home to Stoke City. Zian Fleming in attack. Hannibal Mejri. Saramiento. Really strong lineup here. Josh Brownhill and Cullen in the engine room. That's just too good for the Championship, isn't it? Like, opposition wise, I'm not saying that's Premier League level necessarily, but in this division, like, that's really as good as it can get. Egan Riley been a huge SO5 player this season, along with Trafford. Stoke City team, do we have Bosa and Lawal? Not yet. Not quite a full Celtic stack then, maybe going out here, but some players and some cards are in the match. Cardiff at home to Frank Lampard's Coventry City. Callum Chambers in the engine room here in midfield. That could be very good SO5 wise for them, along with some other players. A wee bit of a stack there if you're inclined. Van Uwijk, Sakamoto, all the good guys. Lampard knows a player, doesn't he? He's playing the good guys on the right hand side together. Leeds United, the top game of the weekend, is looked to list out like this. Again, really strong. If you have any 5 of these cards, they're all a really good shout this game week, aren't they? If they're so highly favoured. Joe Perreault can score goals for fun. Midfields has got 2 or 3 choices in it, and defence has got 1 or 2 also. Can be quite hard to get the cards. And looking at Blackburn, Owen Beck's a cool player. Ohashi we all know and love, but otherwise it's just a bunch of kind of meh guys, isn't it? So it's a good game for Leeds on their path to trying to get re-promoted back into the Premier League. I'll be putting Tanaka in a decent team hopefully if I've got the global option with goalkeepers and whatever. This is the Luton Town team. They're at home to Norwich City. Tom Krause in midfield. It's good to see him keeping his minutes up. See if he can regain some form. Norwich City, Angus Gunn back in town after has he been out for a wee bit with suspension, or has he been back? I've not really been keeping track. Shane Duffy in there, as well as Marcelino Nunes, and Borja Sainz starting up front with Kranic. Some good players in that Norwich team. That could be a fun away game, by the way. Portsmouth at home to Swansea City. Portsmouth, not much to say other than Matt Ritchie is playing for them. Swansea, yeah, not much going on there either, SO5 wise. Chef Wed are at home at Derby County. The Chef Wed team is here on screen. Barry Bannon pulling the strings alongside Shea Charles, who doesn't have many cards, but his card is pretty OP at the moment. And alongside Barry Bannon, that looks like a bit of a good partnership maybe brewing there. Derby County team is on screen. Nat Phillips and Goodmean, if that's how you say it, on to play this one. West Brom at home at Preston North End, and we've got Mikey Johnson starting this alongside Josh Maya and a few other lads that we don't know. Callum Stiles, is that a Dundee card in at left back? So Mikey Johnson is playing, that's fun for us. Preston team is on screen here. And then we've got 2 more games. We've got Hull City at home in Middlesbrough. I don't think this is a derby, because I don't think Middlesbrough's not quite Yorkshire, isn't it? I think, but like Hull and Middlesbrough, I think, are they close to each other? Is this kind of derby-ish? Is this kind of rivalry down the motorway from each other kind of thing? Or shouting over the border at one another? Is it one of those ones? Let me know in the chat, guys. I know there's a few of you from Hull certainly that join us here on the show. João Pedro in attack, an old favourite. Puerta in midfield. Ivan Pandur in goals. Love to see that. Middlesbrough's team, no Ben Doak from the start, or at least it's 50-50 for him. He has been playing a bit, so maybe a wee bit of load management for him. And then the last game we have in the Championship is Sunderland at home to Chef U, with Ayuish supporting Isidore and Paddy Roberts in attack. That feels like the streets won't forget potential, doesn't it? If you can get all three of them on fire and on song. I'd love Sunderland to get promoted just so we can get Paddy Roberts cards. That'd be great fun. Chef U team is on screen here. Tom Davis in midfield, actually. I think he's like somewhat Premier League level, so decent guy. Kiefer Moore, Rian Brewster, Hammer, O'Hare, even Alfie Gilchrist. There's some good players in this team for sure. Goalkeeper, don't know who he is, but yeah, that's the Championship for us. And the last thing we've got is Champion, which is only Arsenal and Brentford. So this is the Arsenal team. Whoa, Mikel Merino's favoured to start this. That's fun for me. Trossard, Havertz and Martinelli looks to be the front three. Rice and Odegaard finished the midfield. And the back four, it looks like MLS is going to be playing in at left back here. Lewis Skelly alongside Timber in at right back, and the main three, the foundation that Arsenal have built here, ever present, go to start again. Brentford are, yeah, is that as strong as they go? Damsgaard back, Nordgaard plays also, Nathan Collins, Sepp Vandenberg. Goalkeeper thing, I think Flecken's got an injury, doesn't he? So Valdermason is coming in for this one. Yeah, they're questionable, so very doubtful. It's hard to play Flecken if you've got him, but if you don't have a Valdermason, then you're kind of having to do it, I suppose, aren't you? So it's just one of those ones. But yeah, that's everything that we've got in terms of the predicted 11s and the match previews that we've got. And again, yeah, no further update on anything from the big game of the weekend. Now, I've got some teams to kind of finalise. We've got 28 minutes to the deadline. We're picking up a bunch of stuff. We'll be back for rewards later on. We just added the wee Will Ferry for £9, because why not? And I want to factor him into like one of my bottom lineups. Now, one of the things, I'll show you this for context first of all, right? Because if you haven't caught some of the videos recently on the channel, I've really just made sure that all the Celtic stuff is super rounded off now. I'm only missing like literally 2 or 3 pieces, and I have everything you would ever want. And this game week is paid off in a decent enough way. Nothing really went against me. Just maybe the Taylor one here, Hart finishing 62. And this one here, top 65% with Trusty DNP in. I'm so surprised Vickers played this. If I played Vickers in this, it would have been another top scoring team, potentially. I know Adamida's maybe held it back, but we've got some cash from there. Classic, we're getting all back into D1, no relegations. We've picked up a box. This one's got promoted as well. And then in Limited, we've finished first in Division 3, so we're going into Division 2 with the Valley Hedge team, with Valley bringing in 100, so really nice strategy play there, kicking in for us with the excess players that would have otherwise went into training if I didn't buy Casper Schmeichel. And then finishing 40th, picking up £7 or $7 in a box in the same division, which is fun, is this kind of just safe kind of centre-back team. Hatate forward, McKeown, Captain Schmeichel, just a bit of fun. 53rd in the other Limited team with the likes of Yang, Ralston coming off the bench. I was like, oh, thank God, I'll be getting some use out of my Bernardo and my Vickers with him coming on. That jumped up to 53rd and gets a box as well. So love to see that strategy's paying in. And even like the absolute bottom team with a known or a likely DNP goalkeeper gets to 83rd with some huge scores with the leftovers. So loving to see that the depth of the collection is like being flexed now, and that's against a good St Johnstone team, 4-0 at home. I don't know if I can expect as many goals in this coming game week, but I'm acting as if that's what we're getting. 2 D2s and a D1 for in-season, and I'm basically just going for the best players I can get to score. I'm opting for Taylor in one of these teams again, similar to what I did last game week, where I opted for Trusty in this spot over Carter Vickers. So I'm keeping some sort of kind of general decision making consistent. So I think as much consistency as you can bring into your lineup building, the happier you'll be, and the more content you can be with anything that goes against you. You should have a hedge for it, or something else to kind of balance off in another division somewhere else. But double Alistair Johnson, we're rotating 2 centre backs here in the middle, as well as a different midfielder and a different forward. So there's like a kind of pattern going on here. 3 different forwards, 2 different mids. No McGregor in the in-seasons. And yeah, we bring McGrath in for that case, because yeah, we need that in-season complement there. So 3 teams. I'd love both the D2s to fly high. Maybe both get promoted into D1 would be fun, and that would just be brilliant. Because now the prize pool is really shallow. There's only Scotland on in this, but when all the other divisions come back, the prize pools for all these will be going up, and the more entries I've got in D1, the better. I'm a wee bit, because of my budget and just having I've not got access to unlimited funds, had to really work and be patient and grind into some of these positions. It's now great to see all three classics are in here, and I hope you kind of like what I've done here, right? Because the first team I've got is right back, Scales, McGregor, and Dyson, and then in the alt squad, it's a different centre back, the different full back, a different mid, different forward. So we've got just like two halves of the team, which is one of the elements of multi-entry I've always been excited about trying to tap into. If the team is relatively nailed on, like, you know, the 11, and then this one in the middle is like just the best 5 I've got that haven't been picked elsewhere yet. There's maybe a case for swapping the Vickers out for the Hatate defender, but I've put that in here with the Captain Schmeichel team with what is likely to be the bench, you know, the guys that come off the bench to impact the game later on. But I thought if they are all coming off the bench, the Hatate extra kind of punch that defender card might give, if he leaves the pitch after the 60th minute with the clean sheet bonus intact, you know, that can be a funny little dynamic with the Hatate defender card. So I thought I would do that. And then on the Valley Hedge team, we're just putting in Astley, who will definitely play against Dundee United and should have a good game, and the James Wilson that we picked up. When I come to this second Hedge team, yeah, I think it's maybe this bottom team here. But this team, we've went with Trusty in here. I've got Yang, Lennon Miller. Well, Lennon Miller being more unlikely. See, that's why I'd have liked, kind of did think and wish that Ferry was a midfielder, if I'm perfectly honest, because I'd have liked to just move that around now, but I've not got the option here. The only other midfielder I have is Quan, who is going to be coming off the bench for Hibs, and it just really nerfs this team. So maybe what I'll do with this is I will, because I need the in-season, so if we bring in-season, that's what I'll do. I'll just quickly shuffle that around ever so slightly. We'll change this Quan for the other one. I'll come back to this in a second, maybe. Tate forward feels kind of wasted in that division, doesn't it? But yeah, we'll come into this. We'll swap the Trusty for the Ferry, and then we'll swap the Lennon Miller for, with James Forrest being injured, I've had 4 Forrests to call upon as well. Problem solved, eh? But we'll put Quan in here, and I'm going to... Ferry's like a decent captain. This is a decent little... If Quan can do something from the bench, great. Maybe he starts this, you never know, but need Yang to do something from the bench. Anyway, it's a low division kind of extra pieces team, isn't it? I don't mind that. And then that means I can throw Trusty into this team, so I think that's a better hedge than the Ralston pick. Because I think Vickers should play 90 in this, but I kind of would not be surprised if we were victory lapping them by bringing off Vickers. You know, if we're home and hosed and it's like the 78th, 5th minute or something. Maybe we give Trusty some minutes or whatever. But yeah, this Hatate, a forward card, feels a wee bit wasted, doesn't it? Because the Hatate forward is like a fun card. So is there something else I can do with that? I can't fit it in here unless I moved... If I moved the Valley Hedge card into here, then... Or Ryan Astley, or Ferry, then I could swap Ida. That might be the way to go. I think I'm going to swap Hatate for Ferry, using our lineup. Where's that Ferry card? I'm going to play the Ferry. It's Captain Schmeichel, obviously, and then we want to take that classic Hatate. There we go, boom. Captain Schmeichel, obviously, that's fine. I think that's a better team. McKeown and Bernardo from the bench, there's nothing real much we can do with that options-wise, in season also. So that's cool. And then, so who did we just drop there? Classic Hatate. I'm going to play that up here. I'm going to captain it. And then I've got that Vickers for this team. Yeah, that's fine by me. Captain him, he's fine as a captain. High scoring. And then the rest of the stuff is the rest of the stuff. Yeah, don't mind that at all. Might have went quiet there, sorry guys, I had my hand in front of my mouth there. And then we want Dyson as the forward here, don't we? And then what's left over, is it a Yang that we're going to bring in? I've got Ida. Oh, I've got an Ida still. Is there something I can do with that Ida to... I could play Ida over Yang. That would be better for this team. But it's still letting down by the Quan. That's fine. Or do I play Ida over the Wilson? Yeah, I'm going to play the Ida over the Wilson. Because I think Ida from the bench, big game and all that, he's good for these matches. Keep up with the Celtic team as well, kind of like the Bernardo Valley situation. And yeah, because it's a hedge and he's a good effective sub for that. And then that means, again, this gets a better player, I think, as well with the James Wilson. How far away to the deadline? 19 minutes. I think we're doing well, guys. Captain Vickers. Again, it's just the Quan that lets us down. If we had Forrest, he might be a bit more effective of a backup in this case, or if we win someone else later on. And again, I don't know if there's a... Yeah, Trusty, if we factored... No, the midfield doesn't. It's the midfield in-season element we're missing to that. Dregs lineup. And then if we put Dyson in here, then who do we have left? Lennon Miller, who's away to see a surgeon. Ralston. Yang. I think I fancy Yang, 'cause he's the only winger on the bench. So I'll put him in there. And who would be captain here? Probably Dyson is the best captain choice here. Don't know if McCracken's going to play, but if he does, then this is a team, isn't it? Same with the Trusty thing. Projected D2 Classic, I don't care about that. For your 3 in-seasons, I do want these to be as good as they can be. And I think we've managed to optimise that actually pretty well. Is there a case for shuffling a defender around? Actually, if we shuffle a defender around, we can shuffle. So yeah, how about... Cunha 2-match ban. I think Taylor will start. Sorry guys, I just remembered I've totally ignored the chat for a minute. Don't overlook Tornstat. Harry Trades is in the building, guys. Harry Trades, send him fist bumps and emojis. Harry Trades is here. Thoughts and prayers with you, big man. Furu or Hitate striker in AS, in your opinion? I think Furuhashi could do very well in this game. Hitate gets AA and decisive, so it's kind of easier for him to outscore Furu. So I think the safe play is Hitate. But Kyogo's a wild card in this game. I think there's a good chance Quan starts. Oh, interesting. It is a 63% here. Full media conference. Brendan Rodgers is out now, guys. How long's it on for? 18 minutes. And we're 18 minutes to the deadline. They're sick. They're sick. The Celtic media team are... Oh. Guys, I need to listen to this, but we'll talk through it as well as it comes out. 10 seconds ago. 18 minutes to the deadline and they've... Maybe I need to do it on 1.5 speed or something. How'd I do that? Settings. Yeah. Playback speed. 1.5. 2. Yeah, 2's a wee bit too fast for me. Playback speed. 1.5 was fine. It sucks so slow. Pressure, pressing, passing. That's what he's talking about. Always. I'm just going to... I think we've tinkered with it as much as we need to, but we want to hear any news on team. I'm buzzing, guys, honestly. I think I'm going to rule the roost here. Now, I do actually have some stuff to do. I've did training already, I'm sure. Yeah. Training's all done. That's cool. But I do actually have, like, Connor Hazard to play somewhere. Is all the pressure on Rangers, Brendan? We will always assume pressure. Connor. Not got a defender playing. Midfield. Ayo. Doak from the bench. Or Vata from the bench. I'm going to go Doak. Oh, Marino. We have Marino. I also go Marino. And in defence, I think we need to play Ralston. That's a fun team. If my Dons boys are going to do it for me, it has to be this game week, Kieran. I hope they do, mate. Just hope you get lots of like other decisives, like goal line clearances and last man tackles. I don't want you to score 3 goals against my Misa. Always pressure there, says Brendan. We're listening to the Brendan press conference live, guys. If any of you are wondering, you're just joining us live. Fist bumps to everyone. There's a nice amount of likes, guys, but there's a lot more of you here than the likes. There's a lot more of you here as well that have voted in the poll than have got the likes. So make sure you're on YouTube, you're hitting the like button, and you're supporting the stream whenever you can. We're 15 minutes to the deadline. We've went through all the projected 11s. They're talking about culture and the winning climate that they've got in the team now. How many Taylors have I played? I've played 2, haven't I? I've played 1 in season and 1 classic. Yeah, that might be a move, by the way. How about we bring that in season, that classic Vickers back? Let's bring back the safe Vickers, Captain McGee. And then we'll play... Oh no, we've played a Tate mid here. So let's play a Tate mid here. The gap doesn't come into it, the manager says. Let's play a Tate here. Using in our lineup. McGee. And Rio. There we go. So minimise that Taylor risk. We've got 1 Taylor rather than 2. Safe plays everywhere else. And now we're left with a classic Taylor. That's fine. Classic Taylor can go in here, no bother. 15% captain. That's a juicy card. Yeah, I love that. I think we've nailed it, guys. I think we've absolutely nailed the combos here. The trustees may be a wee bit out of sight, but like, I don't really think there's a spot for him in front of where he's at. So yeah, I like that. I think we've done it. I think we've totally nailed the combos. I'm buzzing. Oh, but this was the alt squad of left back and such, wasn't it? Which I really like that, but I don't mind dismantling that for the security of covering the bases. Because Tate will play, and that's a fine card as well as a defender. Brendan's just had a bite back there. He said something like people couldn't manage their way out of a room or talking about stuff. Is it maybe talk about Clement, because he then kind of says, so everyone in this position I've got respect for or something, you know, or... See if there's no team news in this press conference, by the way. The journalists should hang their head in shame. I understood the game as before I came here as a supporter and all that. Hear talk about a dead drummer. Celtic Rangers games are never dead drummers. You want to perform at the best level. Big game, big occasion. Always want to win. Oh, Trusty and All-Star. Who said that? That's a Yeah, maybe Trusty in here. Great shout. Who said that? Harry Fletcher. Genius. Genius. And then Ralston can fill in this team back here. Love that. Great shout. Love this. Celtic support. How do you remember your one defeat against Rangers? Jesus. Why are none of them asking about the team? What do you think about Greg Taylor? What do you think about Alex Valle? How's Arnott Engels impressed you? What about Adam Ida? You know? Real attacking mindset. Attacking when we don't have the ball. Be very aggressive in our game. Playing the level of game that we've played consistently. Blah, blah, blah. Sorry. Despite the many slumps, he laughs. What do you take from the cup final and what do you learn about Rangers? This might be half mildly interesting. 8 minutes to the deadline. I've rattled through this on 1.5 speed and skipped ahead and stuff, so I think I'm catching all the latest intel before I can submit these teams fully, but someone has to ask him about left back, man. How can nobody be watching? How can no one be asking him about the left back situation or midfield? Or it's all just about airy fairy. What do you feel about the game? How exciting is a derby? Change your Miller. Oh, that might have been from earlier. You can only focus on your own game. It's about going to perform. Perform well. Jesus, man. They're asking about how sports science influences the team selection. Because that's came up in conversation recently. Just skipping ahead. Love sports science team. Listens to the Marini's too. Good thing about being a leader is listening to opinions and making decisions. Come on, Quan. Let's get us some minutes. You go with your instinct and your experience with the players. The game's about people. Any other issues, Brendan? Only Forest. Everyone else good. Fit and healthy for the game. Oh, they're asking about the record and the fixture again, man. It can be a brutal place. Oh, shut up, man. You're judged in these games, blah, blah, blah. Jesus, man. This is terrible. One question about the team. Nice to have that experience in your back pocket. Like, what the hell are we talking about here? Are we writing a book about Brendan Rodgers' like emotions about the history of the game? You know what I mean? Like, This whole press conference, 18 minutes of it, man. Literally 30 seconds on the team. My God, man. That's the end of the press conference. That's embarrassing, by the way. That is embarrassing. 30 seconds on the team in an 18-minute press conference. All the questions, I've tried to repeat them all as I was listening to them, for any of you guys that are halfway interested, but it's all about sentiment and feeling, and, you know, even talking about the difficulty of managers in sports science. Oh, they're drama crap. They're just all headline chasing rather than actual, oh, do you know what? You played Valle for 90 minutes in the last game. You know, what's the thinking there? You didn't play McGregor from the start. What's the thinking there? We all probably kind of know the McGregor one, but come on, man. You're there to talk about a football match. You know what I mean? Like, you're about to play Celtic Rangers. Oh, Brendan, you've played in this game so often before. Isn't that great? Aye. About 10 times over. Oh, everyone is fit, he says that, except for Forrest, yeah. It's like the crumb of 30-second intel that came from that. But anyway, by the by, I'm just going to, just a wee bit of, I'm not too sure how the Valle-Taylor thing does shake out. I'm going to slightly kind of hedge on that. And I'll play the Hatate defender in here to cover. Play the extra Vickers a bit higher, because I did feel that Vickers was also played a bit low, so I actually really don't mind that in terms of if Taylor does start, and I've not played two of them, it's not any big shakes. I've got one, that's enough. And yeah, like, love the combos I've got out here. Like that Ferry's a last minute pickup, because he kind of gives this team a wee bit more credibility, although I do fancy the bench players to be effective for the most part. Pardon me. If we used Yang in season, I'm still thinking, is there a way of... I don't mind Quan, but I'm really trying to get him out of this somehow. It's hard. I don't think there's an easy way of doing it. I'm definitely melting my brain over it. But yeah, training's done, All-Star's done. We're like a minute to the deadline, guys. Good luck to everyone this game week, unless you've got Ranger stacks. I hope you finish last. To everyone else, I hope you finish 0.01 points behind me in every division. Hopefully, we're all reigning high, kicking ass and taking names. Do not forget, guys, I'm going to be back live tonight at 7 o'clock for our Hogmanay New Year's Eve special. We've got tons of boxes, cards, crafting. We've got lots of stuff on the go here, some rewards to open up. It should be a good one to end the year on. So, thanks to everyone that's joined us throughout the show today. We went through the predicted 11s as powered by Predictify, and previewed the game week that we've got here. And I think like the head count, the numbers were quite interesting on the different competitions, as we see All-Star rare with all the Arsenal and Championship guys, especially 2.5k entries into this. 87 in D1, 189 in D2 in season for me. 3 D1 entries, and I'm at 7 to 8 entries in this one. So 3 of the teams are me. That's pretty good, eh? That's like 5% of the entries. that's fun. 800 odd in the limited competitions that we'll be fighting in. And like with these teams, they're kind of like differentials. So like if these players do well, I'll probably do quite well, because no one else will have Captain Schmeichel and like Bernardo McCowan midfield if they both come off the bench and did well. If Bernardo starts, even that factored into the equation also. With a lot of people going with Hatate and Engels, you would imagine. So yeah, I'm actually really excited for how all this shakes out. Everything plays on Thursday as well, is that right? Let's see the All-Star guys. They all play... Oh, Wednesday, actually. So that's fun. All-Star happens Wednesday on New Year's Day itself. And then SPFL is the 2nd, which is just everything. Oh, it's going to be wild, isn't it? It's going to be great. I'm very much looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to catching you all. Picked up a Kiskinen, needed a 5th for All-Star Rare. I like Kiskinen too. What position is he? If he's a midfielder, I'll be a bit gutted. I never thought about him earlier. I've spelled his name wrong. How did you spell it? Kesk. Aye. Don't know what I did there. Is he a mid? If he's a mid, I'll be raging. No, he's a forward. Okay. Don't really need another forward. Limited, he's a decent wee guy. Guys who play internationals in these wee teams are always, I say we, in the grand scheme of so rare, you know, but they're always interesting guys to look at. And we Tope. Like, I got James Wilson for probably the same reason you've got Tope here. But I like James Wilson just being a wee young Scottish player. Just Scotland has no strikers, so if one emerges, it'll be very good to have in the gallery, a la Ben Doak, as it were. So yeah, we're in and we're live, guys. The teams are locked. Good luck to you all for game week 40 as Celtic go away to Mordor, as I called it in the Celtstar here preview, to take on the bad guys. And there's a lot of questions going around. Will Rangers play simply the best before the match like they normally do? That'll be a very interesting very interesting development, to say the least. But yeah, locked and loaded, guys. We've got how many teams? 1, 4, 7, 10. 10 teams that should have goalkeepers playing. This one probably doesn't. So we've got an 11th team here of a little bit of something. So should be good fun. I'm looking forward to it. And then after this game week, we're into, Champion Euros kind of back. Can we see the matches? There's definitely a button on the phone where we can see the matches. Maybe we want to hit Discover Comp. Yeah, this is fine. View all matches. So what do we have next game week? We've got the Prem back. Oh, is that it? Oh, is it just the Premier League I'm looking at? Yeah, sorry, I'm an idiot. Champion. View all matches. So we've got Spain. We've got France. We've got Italy, England. I think they're all back, aren't they? They're all back. Oh, that's going to be brilliant, by the way. Champ Euro back with a bang to after this game week. Contender, is it still just Scotland? Playing every 3 days at the moment. A wee bit of French League 2, I think that is. League 2, yeah, in Scotland, that's it. So, a wee bit of a similar game week to what we've had. And yeah, should be a good one. Classic with the specials we're looking at. We've got a Cap 260 and we've got an All-Star. And do you know what, guys? I've just remembered I've not done Zero to Hero well, over the festive period, so I better get back on it. It's been a great one. Thanks to everyone that's hit the like button. Thanks to everyone that supported the show today. Good luck this game week. Good luck for your rewards tonight. Hopefully I'll see you at 7 o'clock here on the channel. If you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button for more content like this. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Hail, hail, and mon the hoops.